Hello friends, this is Growl. About a month or so ago, a video went viral in the WoW space called "I Miss When WoW Was Just a Game." This video really hit home, I think even for some people that didn't even play WoW. The internet was a magical time in its infancy. The idea of exploring new areas, being able to share what you found with people other than the one kid in school that you knew who played games really hit different. In the video, he reminisced about the feeling of being new to the world and how things have changed. Me personally, I really think what's changed is just the times. The idea of talking to people online just isn't as cool as it used to be. Kids grow up nowadays with cell phones and tablets. I mean, you can play Mario Kart in a full lobby of people at age 4 without having to socialize or get your mom to order pizza. For us adults, well, we've been online for decades now. I expect a lot of people really vibed with this video though. I mean, I know I did. They remember being immersed in old school World of Warcraft, not having a care in the world, taking over a month to get to max level, just clicking all your talents randomly, making friends along the way, going to areas that are way too high level, trying to kill that one mob for 5 minutes only to just die and then give up. Nowadays though, things are different. You just speedrun leveling on day 1, then immediately look up a guide on exactly what you're supposed to do with your build. You join groups in Group Finder, but you just don't say anything other than hi and bye. Oh yeah, you gotta download that to-do list, spreadsheet, Google document off Reddit, start knocking things off the list. Remember, they designed the game like a chore now. This is how you have to play. In the video and in the YouTube comments, I was kind of getting this vibe too. I mean, it was hinted that the game design overall has changed. Notes of environmental storytelling, how it was so present in classic World of Warcraft back in the day, and how it's seemingly lost in current retail. While there's definitely big differences in philosophy, I'd argue that in World of Warcraft current year, there's just as much, if not honestly, a lot more to explore. One of the cool parts of dragon riding was that Blizzard had a much bigger canvas to work with to create little nooks and crannies throughout the world without having to inconvenience the player. I'd like to make the argument that there's just as much to explore, and you could play the game exactly the same way as you did back then. You just choose not to. You would rather be in a more competitive guild, get your items better, you know, whatever. Look, you can play the game however you want. The irony just hits me a bit from the people who choose to play the game competitively and then talk as if they have a gun to their head and they would rather not be doing it. Maybe I'm wrong though. Maybe the magic really was lost somewhere. I mean, come on, I'm a retail WoW content creator. I have to be biased, right? So I set out on a mission to wrap up the expansion, to explore the Dragon Isles, the current retail WoW in 2024, to see what things there are really to explore. Are there any secrets? Is there environmental storytelling? Am I gonna awaken that magic of exploration deep inside all of us? Or is there just this barren, lifeless wasteland of just running from dungeon to dungeon and raid to raid? Well, we'll start with actually what's a pretty well-known secret in Dragonflight, right here in the main city of Eldraken. Head over to the inn, where you've been hearthing for the entire expansion. There's probably more quests here than I'll ever read or know what to do with, but check out this old statue in the back. If you interact with it, the statue speaks. Respect must be shown to enter. Well, if you end up using the bow emote on the statue, you're ported to the Dragons Horde, a secret underground bar and dance party beneath the city. It's empty now though. I mean, it's usually empty. It doesn't serve any purpose after all, it's just a room. If people wanted a secret area to hang out in the town, they would be here, but it's just not something people care about much these days. Maybe on some servers they do. Talking to this drunk NPC in the right even prompts you with something that I found quite funny. Grab a drink and forget about dragons for a few minutes. It's almost like the game is trying to get us to stop and smell the roses, but, well, there's nobody here. Funny enough, while I was exploring, an NPC walked into the bar exactly at 3 in the morning server time, shouting something about a fight club. 2 NPCs walk in and duke it out into the middle of the bar. I tried to heal one of them at low health just to, see what would happen. Unfortunately, it wouldn't let me give him a hand. Nothing ended up happening after the event, but it was pretty cool to find something that I never knew existed already. Next, we'll travel across the continent to the Azure Span. You may have farmed Azure Vault for your caster trinket 20 times, but you probably haven't flown past it this far to see what's happening on this little island. Talking to Kyopo reveals that this island is a secret retreat for the Tuskar kids when they want an escape to play. Although part of my childhood was playing games, another big part was getting kicked out of the house by my parents having to play outside for the day, so this area really vibes with me. The NPC even sells a couple sled toys, and if you click on the sled on the top of the hill, you ride down to the bottom. Not much of a point, but all the kids are having a snowball fight and building snowmen and just kind of chilling out here. I feel like this would be such a cool spot to hang out in, like in between dungeon runs. If only there was like a repair vendor or innkeeper or, well, basically anything else here. Alright, so that area wasn't so secret. Let's look for something really off the grid. So fly south of this sled retreat, I mean really far south, like out of bounds, into the water in the middle of nowhere. Keep going beyond where the fatigue kit kicks in. Eventually you'll get vision of an island and then the fatigue will go away. I'm not a WoW lore expert, but this place certainly has some sort of a story to it. There are remains of like many different races, you can tell just by the skulls. There's Horde and Alliance, like orcs and trolls and humans scattered throughout the island. Everyone's dead though, except for these crabs. There's a species of crabs here that don't exist anywhere in the game called the Laval. They're curiously wearing bones of dragons on their heads. Some of them even march in a line with like the spine bones all in a line and then the dragon skull in front. Looking around the island, you can also find a rare crab wearing a giant dragon skull. I'm assuming this is like their leader. I did some Googling to find out and killed it, but apparently he doesn't really drop anything special or activate anything secret. Well, anything secret that we know yet. That place was a little bit dark, so let's talk about something more fun. So on the other side of the world, in the Obsidian Citadel, you used to farm a bunch of rare mobs. I remember farming reputation and rare mobs for items here, but this area has been mostly abandoned now this late in the expansion. I think many people never noticed if you just swing around all the way to the coast along the north side. The side of the mountain is extremely barren until you find this small little enclave with some NPCs playing a game of Hearthstone. At first glance, there isn't much to do here, other than some sort of secret quest that rewards a pet and an NPC that turns you into a pirate. You'll notice there's a board and some bubbling off into the water though, encouraging you to take a look. You see even a Tuskar diving into the water. So I dove in and you actually found an entire underwater Tortolan bar. It's like the bubble bath dance bar. This area isn't just a cool Easter egg though, it's actually part of a long secret quest chain to obtain the secret auto mount. You dance here during a part of the quest chain and it gives you a barrel that you then use to store specific types of fish that you eventually use to get the mount. This is one of the best parts about current retail WoW secrets and exploration, I think. You sort of like get something to show for it. There are areas to explore, but also there's like cool toys, pets, and mounts that you can find while exploring. I was thinking of doing this quest chain, I thought it would be fun for the video, but then I looked at exactly how long and in-depth it would be, and then I decided, well, let me try something more simple. So I started looking around and I actually came across one that seemed really perfect. There's something that was bothering me for the entire expansion. So my druid ends up with these items called Stolen Breath of Onara in its inventory. None of my other characters ever get them. I have no idea what they're for. I can't even sell them to the auction house. It turns out these only drop when you're max reputation with the Maruk Centaur, and that's when you kill the final boss in the Noku Defensive Dungeon. This item is a prerequisite to getting a new mount. So I collected the pieces that I needed and head to the bird that gives the quest. It wasn't too long, it was mostly just farming the items from the boss that I happen to have in my inventory anyway, and the bird wouldn't talk to me. So after some Googling, I learned that there's actually a super long prerequisite quest chain, one that spans over 5 days where you have to collect different stuff throughout the island. You have to get materials from different mobs in the zone and then take them to an NPC in Oniri Springs. This is, well, one for another day, sorry. sorry. But dang, that's cool. Like, imagine if you had just found the NPC that was asking for stuff and you're following the quest chain and you end up coming back, learning that there's a new quest each day, and then eventually you got the mount. They say that, oh, there's these cool quests in vanilla WoW, like the Onyxia attunement, and yeah, there are cool, but I mean, there is just so much to explore in modern WoW too. I think people who say that these quests or storylines don't exist are just dead wrong. I think you might not just be looking for it. By now you maybe realize this footage is being recorded just short of 4 in the morning, but I think this may be the end of the rabbit hole for now. I hope you don't think I was trying to convince you that retail WoW is superior to classic or anything. I've enjoyed my time in vanilla, classic kata, and retail for all different types of reasons. I mean, I actually played a ton of vanilla. I killed KT in hardcore when that was a thing. I'm currently raiding heroics as a holy paladin in kata, and then of course I play retail, clearing the mythic raids and stuff. My main message is just, you know, if it feels like the magic is gone, it might take a little bit from within to get the flame lit again. I mean, if you don't click the looking for group dragon eye over and over again, how are you supposed to know that it turns red and blinks? If you made it this far in the video, let me know your favorite Easter egg in the game. Thanks for watching, and happy exploring, friends.